Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner-builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application. Let's go straight into the overall dimensions. And first of all, I'm just going to show the floor plan that I received. So here's the floor plan, just to see that I'm pretty much matching the dimensions that they gave. Overall dimensions, let's look at that here real quick. And I'm going to turn off the floor plan for right now. We have a dimension here of from this edge here of the wall to this right edge of the wall, 37 feet 3 3/4 of an inch. I have a ceiling height of 10 feet, and then we have, you can see the different distances over here. But overall, we're looking at a total length of about 20 feet 8 inches. There are going to be two fans, one on this side here. I have that centrally located between the edge of this wall here to the midpoint here, so that's centrally located, and then also centrally located from, I believe, from this edge here to this edge here. And we have a 6-foot diameter on that fan blade itself. Same with here, centrally located from this wall here to the center point here, centered in that section, and in the same configuration with regards to this edge over here. I think that's about it for right now. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of different options. I am going to turn off the dimensions right now, and let's put the floor back on here. And yeah, so what we need to look at first of all is which direction will the ceiling joist be, and depending on what that is, we'll make a determination of how the heaters can be installed. But let's go ahead and look at two different options. So I'm going to take off the ceiling up there and look at possible option 1, which is to place two of the units on the left side here, centrally located, lined up with the center point of the fan, as well as two units over here. These are 6,000 watt units. So these are flush mounts, and there's two elements in here, and you can get a control system or a duplex switch. I would prefer a dimmer system, just because it allows you to change the intensity from roughly 10% all the way up to 100%. You can see that there are clearances 18 inches from this edge here, on all four sides actually, so left, right, front, back, 18 inches from the heater itself, not the flush mount kit, but from the heater. And looking at the dimensions of the fan blade again, you can see that we are from that edge of the fan blade, 18 inches of clearance, no issue with regards to that. Now, if the fan blade is steel bladed fan, you can move the heater over slightly if you think that's necessary. Let's just go with, maybe 12 inches here. And let's see, let me change that, and we'll move one over 12 inches. And you can see that our heat ray is not, well, it is actually penetrating the dimension that I have here, the 6 feet. So I wouldn't probably recommend having the heat ray penetrate that fan blade, because if it's, say it's aluminum, non-combustible, it will cause that aluminum fan blade to droop, and that would be an issue for me. So I probably wouldn't do that. But making sure that we have that 18 inches of clearance, and if we were just to move it slightly, let's go with maybe even just 6 inches just to see what that's like. Now we're not directly into that heat ray into the fan blade itself, and we're looking at this 6-foot diameter that I'm showing here, but I'm going to push that back anyways, just to keep the plan looking right. In any case, that would work 6 inches closer if this is non-combustible. But if it is combustible, you need to make sure you have that 18 inches of clearance no matter what. So looking at the footprint of heat, you can see that our coverage is fairly decent. I'm a little bit not pleased with this section right here. The footprint of heat at 10 foot off the finished floor is going to be roughly about 11 to 12 feet in dimension this direction, and about 10 to 11 feet in this direction. So the overlapping ray isn't penetrating this area as much as I would like it to. Let's just go ahead and look at the distance apart from each other. So you can see here we have that at 9 feet 8 inches. I'd probably like it more in that 9 foot distance if I could, but in any case, this is what we have for right now because of the diameter of the fan, and I think that's about it as far as that's concerned. Let's go ahead and look at another option. So if we take that off and we add in 2 more units in the center here, and these are no longer centrally located within this distance here. What I have is these 2 heaters are centered within the total distance of the this wall to this wall, which is that 37 foot distance. And then from each heater, we'll go ahead and mark this off here from the centrally located position on each heater to the other. We have that at 10 foot 9, and again we're still meeting those clearances to combustibles with regards to the fan blades here, 18 inches from this edge here to the edge of the heater. And you can see here now we are getting a much better coverage overall. If we look down here, still this isn't perfect, but it is pretty good. I should also mention that, because of the fact that this is basically 3 walls protecting this environment here, as well as a ceiling, you're not going to need as much heat as you have here, or as you would normally in an open position. So I would say that this is going to be warm enough here. But again, definitely you would want to have some sort of control system so that you can have, possibly, on this particular application, we have 6 heaters. You can go with 6 zones, or you can go with 3 zones. That'd be 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, or 1 for each heater. And that allows you to dim the system up and down based on what the temperature is outside and how you like that heat output for your comfort. All right, so let's go ahead and look at a possible different option. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this here, and we'll look at the other option, which would be if the ceiling joists are in this configuration, so going perpendicular to the 37.3 distance here. But anyways, it's basically the same thing. We have what I did is basically just took the 2 units that I showed a minute ago, and I rotated them 90 degrees and made sure that I'm meeting the clearances here. So you can see here from the edge of the fan blade, 6 foot diameter, I have 18 inches to the heater itself. And that's going to be true on both sides. So that's not an issue there. But you can see that the coverage here is a little bit different. You get a little bit wider of a coverage from, in this direction here. But we're not really heating up much of this area, nor are we heating up this area over here. You can see the seam position over here isn't being heated very well, as just as a note. So this isn't my preferred application, but depends on what these ceiling joists truly are. Let's go and look at the 4th different option, which would be, if we were to put in a total of 8 units, and this would heat up the entire position, the entire patio, I should say, very, very nicely in this configuration, if the ceiling joists are in this configuration. Now, what you might see here is obviously the heaters themselves. We have the heater, which is the WD 6024, so it's a 6,000 watt 240 volt 25 amp heater. And we have the flush mount kit itself, which is the component that is attached to the ceiling joist, and then we have the drywall, 1 hour fire rated drywall that would surround the unit itself on the inside. It requires 13 inches of clearance from this edge here to this edge here. So depending on where these joists are, and it doesn't matter which application that we're talking about, it could be, I'm going to actually turn off the array and turn off the clearances below, but it could be this way, it could be this way. It doesn't matter. We have to have that 13 inches of clearance so that these will physically fit within that span. So in my particular drawing here, which is not true with regards to the ceiling joists themselves, let's see here, we can move this over to this edge, and you can see that we are now meeting the clearances. So I just moved it 2.5 inches, but we don't really know what that true distance is going to be. So ideally, you know, if this is still in a design phase, then the best option would be to design the platform so that you can physically, you know, move one of these over and, you know, possibly add an additional one to add for the strength. But moving those over rather than trying to move the heater over would be much more beneficial. Doesn't matter which direction the ceiling joists are going, that's going to be true for either one of those comments. So let's go ahead and put this back on just to look at this again. And also I should note that the client did talk about placing lighting fixtures, which is a very good thing to place those lighting fixtures after you have the layout of your heating system, just so that you know, the heating system will work and you'll be happy with the way that the footprint of heat is. One thing you should note is the I'm going to turn this off here. These are infrared electric outdoor heaters. And the one thing about an infrared heater is these are light waves, just like recessed lighting fixtures. Now, an infrared light wave, a true infrared light wave, is not visible to the human eye, but if you're not within that light wave, you're not going to feel the warmth at all. And so you really want to make sure that the, you know, position of the heaters are in such a manner that is going to heat up the spaces that you are actually sitting in. So I should also state that if you're standing or sitting on a bar stool, then these heaters would probably be too hot for those applications. That's why you'd really want a control system, or if you're not going to use a control system, then go with a lower output unit based on where you're at, you know, of course, and the height, 10-foot height for standing. You can go with a 4,000 watt unit, but a 4,000 watt unit at 10 foot off the finished floor would not be good for sitting positions like this here. So I think that's about it. Let's go back to the other option that I mentioned, using the 6 units. This is probably the best of the 4 options. It doesn't give a total coverage, but it's, you know, 2 heaters less, and the coverage is fairly decent for this application, I would say. So I guess this would be my preferred application of all. In any case, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful. We don't advertise, not monetize. YouTube does not promote our channel unless we receive a thumbs up from our viewers, and we truly appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.